Alright guys, doing a roof rail seal replacement on my 80 Regal, so this would be the same for 78 to 88 A and G body cars. Now this is just what I do and what I've done quite a few of too. So your tracks that screw up into the body, which is this piece here, it actually consists of two pieces. It's technically three, this is one, but it's just cut on the ends and then bent over. But so the rear piece is still in the car. I haven't removed it yet. It's 3 screws. These are actually stainless steel on the back, so I'll sand and buff this piece. And on my buffing wheel over there was some green rouge for stainless. But this forward section of the track for the roof and the A-pillar is black. Now they're pretty tattered, you know, and sun faded, and they got some factory goop crap stuck to them, and it is a little bit visible, so it's kind of ugly. So I'm going to go ahead and sand and repaint these, and anyway, put in the new roof rail seals later. So once you remove the track, if you remove your track, now you could technically just replace your roof rail seals in the car, but it's quite the pain in the butt to do, you know, working upside down basically, trying to scrape all that old stuff out of there. And to me it's just easier to lay it on the floor and work it over, so that's what I did. Anyway, so if you do remove your track, there's a couple of things you got to do. Now from the factory they have a foam seal, wide foam seal on here. It's fairly thin, but when you go to take it off, some sections will stay on the car, so it's ruined. You definitely want a new seal on there so you don't get no wind noise or no moisture get in there from driving in the rain or whatever. So what I did after I removed the tracks, you can see the mess in the floor. This is just from this side, and there's some big pieces that I've already thrown in my trash can. But I use a plastic paint stripper disc on a drill, and I sit there and basically clean that old foam seal off like that. Now you could use a wire wheel, but this has a pretty healthy coating on it, and the wire wheel will actually damage the coating and make it bare metal. So I like to use this and just use some medium pressure, and it'll take it off just fine. So after you get this cleaned up, and then you get all the mess cleaned up out of here, because it sucks getting the old roof rail seal pieces out. There's still remnants in here, and I thought I had it out. I can see it now. Anyway, they use a line of glue up through here, some weather strip adhesive. So, you know, one section of it will come out, and then the rest of it's stuck. So I use a flat blade screwdriver down in through that channel and get it the best I can. And then I'll use a wire brush. I have a little small stainless steel wire brush here, and I'll get it down in there and do it this way. And it'll really start cleaning that out of there. That stainless really works good to take that out of there. And so anyway, once you get that cleaned out, then what I'm going to do to this one, I'm going to go through here with some probably some 500 grit sandpaper, and I'm going to sand this down a little bit. There's a few little scratches here and there that I'm going to feather edge, but I'm going to repaint this whole track semi-gloss black Krylon. You could do any color, gloss black, semi-gloss, semi-flat, flat. You could do anything you wanted. Now the little guide right here that goes in the front, make sure that's on your track. This is a needed part. It keeps your window from pulling out on the open highway. And I used to have a G-body back about 20 years ago, and this was broke off on the driver's side. And when you'd get up to highway speed, the window would kick out on you. So anyway, you'll have to put a new guide in there. I think you can buy these new. It's just 2 little rivets. You can drill them out and then just pop a new one in there. It's a pretty simple changeover deal there. But so anyway, I'll get this sanded down and painted. So then at that point, you'll have to put on new foam seal for that to screw to the body. I might also want to mention, everywhere a screw was, there's a high spot in this track. It's just like an oil pan rail or a timing cover flange. You'll need to stick something up in here and then hammer it back flat. And that way it just makes sure you get it, that's a sure way to get an even seal, you know, when you screw it back in here. Like that one there is really, really high, and this one as well. So I'll stick a little steel dolly under here and I'll tap that back down flat. Anyway, so the foam seal, this is what I use. I get this at Lowe's, and it's actually called a Tamper Seal. This is around $5, I think. This is 3/16 thick, 1 1/4 wide, and it's 30 foot long, so you got plenty. But this is what I use. It's very, very soft, and it is wider than what the factory is, but you know, like this is the outside. I'll put that foam tape right up to the edge of it right there, and I'll just let the rest hang over, because once you put it up in the body, there's plenty of room for the excess in there. You could go back and cut it off if you wanted to. I just never do, because you can't see it. But anyway, this stuff works great for that, and it's very inexpensive. It is gray instead of black, but you don't see it once you screw it up there, so because it's basically, it's just crushed. So anyway, your roof rails, when you get your new ones, it's kind of fun. Now I personally like to start at the back, and I like to, you know, get the back put in first, but it has a really tight lip edge on it, and like the inside part that would go more to the inside of the car, that part's pretty easy to put on. It's the other one that's kind of tough. So the easy way to do it, once you have your tracks screwed in, of course, you go to put your new roof rail seal in, squirt some Windex or just soapy water solution, whatever you got, and put it on that stripping where it goes up in the outside part of the channel right there. And that way you can it'll kind of work its way in. It's lubrication is what it is, and it basically just works it right down in there. And a lot of times if you start at the back and you work your way down, you'll notice that it's a little long. That didn't sound right, did it? Anyway, your little clips won't go in because the seal's down further, so you can actually just kind of work it there a little bit back up toward the body of the roof. And that Windex in there being for lubrication, it really helps it slide easier in that track. But anyway, now roof rail seals, there's a couple different brands. These that I'm using are Metro Super Softs. Got them from eBay. I think it was a place called Tamper's, if I remember right. Now it didn't have the little clips that go, there's two at the back and two at the front, two little clips that push into the body up there and two up here. Mine weren't in the box, so be aware that when you remove your old seals to try to save your old clips. Luckily I did. Now I do remember getting another package, another different brand. I don't remember what the brand was, but when I got the clips out of the little plastic bag, the head was way smaller than factory, and they would basically almost go back through the rubber, so they were the incorrect clips. So the other brand, which I can't remember, had the correct style factory clips. I just don't remember which ones, but anyway, so keep that in mind. Try to save your clips if you can. The best way to get them out is a clip tool if you got one. Just something like that to get in there and hook it, and it'll save your clips really, really nice. But anyway, that's the roof rail seals once you get it up in the track. Now the foam seal, this Tamper Seal, I'll stick it up here first, and then I'll work my way all the way back, and then I'll go ahead and cut it off where it's about this long, about 3 feet long right here. And I'll leave this hanging. I'll screw this track into the body, then I'll put the B-pillar piece up there onto the foam and onto it that way. That way your foam seal is one piece all the way around. You don't have a break up here in the corner. If you do it in separate foam pieces, put your little butyl up in there, a little sticky stuff, and that'll kind of help on the sealing part of it. But anyway, again, this is just what I do, just a budget way of re-foam sealing your window tracks. And it'd be like a car wash thing. If you go to a car wash and are washing your car, the water could get in behind there if you don't replace that foam seal. I mean, hell, let's face it, it's 40 years old. All this stuff's going to be old and brittle anyway. But now this is another thing. When you put your new roof rail seals on, keep in mind, you will have to adjust your door glasses to fit the new seal. It's a good idea to replace your door hinge pin bushings first if your door has a lot of up and down movement, because it's going to cause your window to be hang down further to the rubber. So I would definitely replace the hinge pin bushings first. Now, just about every time that I have put these in, I've had to still adjust the window. And it's pretty simple. What I usually see is like on the other side, I've already done the other side, I did it yesterday, and the window had to go up quite a bit actually. And this is your adjustment right here. There's a bolt right here and it's an adjustment. So you want to roll your window down to take the tension off of that stop, and then just move it up tighten it back down, and you're good to go. There's also one here at the front, very front right here. Now on this car in particular, they're 11 millimeter, 7/16. But anyway, that's the adjustment for up and down. The rubber, basically once you get it in the car and you close the door, you can kind of tell what you need to do, whether the window needs to go up or down or whatever. So that's all there is to it on the adjustment. That's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. So another thing that will help in your new door seal replacement job is that little plastic guide right there, if you can see that. This one's completely broken out. I've got one here for an example because I've already replaced it on that side over there yesterday. So these are your guides right here that come on their factory, and you can see the oval pieces broke out. That's what it's supposed to look like. So anyway, they are riveted to the door glass, so you will have to remove the door glass. But anyway, you go in there like that. And you definitely want to cover your glass with just about anything. I have some very thick adhesive plastic here, so I covered the whole glass and just cut out the two areas where the rivets are, and then I ground it off because the sparks from those rivets will actually melt into that glass and leave little black specks, so you don't want to ruin your window. But anyway, I replaced mine. I basically ground the rivets off and then knocked the centers out with a little punch and a hammer. And I think I got these from Dixie Monte Carlo. I can't remember. I have seen them on eBay, but they're just guides for the rear window. Because this little part right here, there's a pin about that long sticking down, and that goes into that. So when I put the new one on, I used stainless steel hardware. I used 1/4 by 20 by 1 inch long bolts, a lock washer, and a nut, and bolted them back on there. I wouldn't use an impact, like a little electric impact. I would do it by hand, just to be on the safe side. But anyway, what happens is when your tab is broke out here, you get a lot of this. So that cuts that down with new ones. That keeps that from happening. So to keep that from ever breaking again, it's pretty simple. Tell people that ride in your car not to close the door by the glass, like this. Close it by the door right there. And anyway, so not only will it keep fingerprints off your glass, it'll make your guide last longer. So anyway, I've got a lot of work to do. Thought I'd give you the rundown on roof rail seal replacement. My how-to videos I know suck. I just try to give little tidbits the best I can. And again, this is just how I do it. I don't care how other people do it. This is just how I do it. I don't even know if they make a reproduction foam seal for that track, but Lowe's has it. Anyway, guys, good luck with your roof rail seals. Add this part right here. This is the part that goes up here. That is the guide that goes down in that there. So anyway, I just thought I would show that. Now, if you get your door glass out and you notice your little felt things are gone, like these are flattened off pretty good. If these are gone, it's going to cause your window to rattle and bang and clang, and it could scratch your glass as well. It has it on the front piece, which is right here. I just removed it from up there. But it's very, very simple. You can peel that off, use some lacquer thinner or something, and clean it really, really good. And all you need is the fuzzy side of the Velcro. This is a roll that I bought at Walmart. It comes with half of this and half of the loop part, and this is just the fuzzy part. It's the same thing just about. So when you rebuild like flippers in old cars, that's what they send you, is stuff like this. So anyway, you can rewrap those so it'll keep your door glass from getting scratched, and also keep a lot of the banging and clanging out when you're rolling your window down. Now there's also another one right here that's riveted. So you'd have to drill a rivet off, but it is I don't know if that'll show up or not. It just looks like a piece of steel that's rolled down like a half circle or something. And usually the felt's gone off those. I've seen them a lot gone. These are actually still on, which I'm kind of surprised. But so anyway, that's just a follow-up for that. So here's a roof rail system seal done. Now this stainless piece right here, I sanded and polished that on my buffing wheel with some green polishing rouge for stainless, so this looks brand new. And my track, if you can see, I respray painted it with Krylon semi-gloss black, and I actually polished my guide with Mother's Magnet aluminum polish because it's kind of like a rubbery plastic, and then I masked it off and then I painted that. Anyway, and then I put the new seal in, so now it's all nice and clean looking and new again. Also put on some brushed look vinyl, put it on myself. I took these pieces off and put brushed vinyl on there because I think it matches my brush finish gauges, which, by the way, I've got my console pod with my 2 auto gauge 2 1/16" gauges with the brushed face and the black needles, so they match the factory gauges. Nice little touch. They're all in and hooked up. Also got my door panel on, so it's starting to look better if you're colorblind anyway. Keep in mind, I will get my seats and my door panels reupholstered in tan later. I just don't have the money right now. So I'm going to go ahead and put the car together and enjoy it. At least the stuff's not all ripped up and torn up. You know, it's all still decent, you know. So anyway, that's what I got to do for now until I get funds later. Anyway, that's a follow-up for a roof rail.